Hello everyone, it's me Clayson. I just finished watching Vivo, the latest Sony Pictures animated film to be released on Netflix just today, starring Lin Manuel Miranda, Zoe Saldana, Gloria Estefan, and Michael Rooker. Now, when it comes to a lot of these Netflix animated films that have come on the service, 3 of which this year alone have come from Sony Pictures Animation. There was The Mitchells vs. the Machines, Wish Dragon, and now Vivo, which is Sony Pictures Animation's first musical film. But hey, when you have Lin Manuel Miranda in the cast, you kind of have to make him sing. But let's get to the story, shall we? The story follows a kinkajou, played by Lin Manuel Miranda, named Vivo, who's owned by this old man named Andreas in Havana City, Cuba. When Andreas's old lover, Marta, is holding a farewell concert in Florida, he makes a song for her and wants Vivo to deliver the song to her after his unfortunate passing. But when Vivo happens to find his grandniece Gabby, when she happens to live in Florida, he might have the chance to get the song to Marta and to let her know how much Andreas really loved her. But that's all I'll say about the story. The story here is pretty predictable when it comes to its 3-act structure, but the songs in the film actually do deliver a lot of heart, and they do manage to be really catchy in typical Lin Manuel Miranda fashion. And even though the characters are pretty typical for the genre, and even the antagonists, such as Michael Rooker's Python character, feel more like circumstances rather than villains who actually tie into the plot pretty well, I do think certain elements of the story really do work even though others don't. There's an extended stay in the Everglades in this film that does feel like it's kind of marking for time, considering that the story, despite only being less than an hour and a half long, feels like it has that kind of filler to it to make it get to the feature length mark. Granted, it is a chance for Vivo and Gabby to end up working better together when they get out of the Everglades, and it also deals with Gabby's issues with this film's version of the Girl Scouts, known as the Sand Dollars, but it does feel like that part of the film is stretched out to the point where you can tell they were using it to reach that 90-minute mark. And even then, there's about 13 friggin' minutes of credits, with some reprisals of some of the songs of the film, one of which being actually my least favorite song of the film. But that's not to say that any of the songs are bad. It's just that it's clear that it was a story that didn't have a whole lot to it, so they decided to use as many tricks as possible to get it up to the feature length requirement, while also sprinkling in some beautiful animation, which not only is great from the CG side of things, but there's also some hand-drawn stuff thrown into the film that actually looks a little bit better than the CG animation they use for the majority of it. I think that's the case for a lot of the films that incorporate other animation styles into the films, as was done with also Mitchells vs. the Machines and some of the Hotel Transylvania credit sequences. Still, when it comes down to it, it's a kids' film, and as far as kids' musicals go, it's relatively harmless, and I do like seeing Gloria Estefan and other actresses of her caliber in these kinds of movies. So, I do think it's a decent film, I just put it slightly above Wish Dragon and pretty below Mitchells vs. the Machines. It's in the middle as far as I'm concerned. That's why I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. See you next time.